Question now is that vote corrections stand part of the schedules. I call the Honourable Member Asanati Lole-Yaylor. Talofa.
Mr Chair, in the 2012-2013 budget of the correction, the national government declared that they will invest $1.5 billion on corrections. This time round, 2013 to 2014 spending or budget spending in law and order is a deal breaker for a majority of voters, and the Department of Corrections and the Minister in charge try to give false assurance of the voting public that criminals won't just get a simple slap on the wrist. Remember the 43 criminal offenders who managed to destroy monitoring services and escape security surveillance by the Correction Department in the span of 1 year? I hope they do. These offenders make our security system seem like a joke, with reports nearly every week of someone escaping from custody or destroying a monitoring device. We need to send a clear message to these offenders that our prison security devices and surveillance systems aren't a joke, nor should they be compromised. More importantly, when it becomes potentially dangerous for our local communities, that department needs to be made accountable for ensuring public safety. We need to enhance security so that offenders do not escape prison or community services sentences. We should enforce tougher penalties where any offender found to destroy security devices be sentenced to a minimum prison sentence and be denied the softer option of home detention. Let us reflect on a recent case of a man that was sentenced to 9 months home detention and made to serve 300 community hours for importing Class B drug to our ports. This was drugs, sorry. How is this sending out a message that we are going to get tough on criminal behaviour? How are we going to deter criminal behaviour if we are sentencing men like Manuel Sadler 9 months home detention instead of imposing the maximum penalty of 14 years imprisonment? Let me also mention that this man is a repeat offender. More needs to be done to ensure that criminals like this are caught and serve jail time. We can't afford to give these criminals a slap on the wrist and send them home. What kind of a message that is sending to our community? This sort of behaviour has the potential to destroy lives and encourage further criminal activity. In order to combat criminal activity, the government needs to ensure that they stick to their promises and make our police more visible. I find it unacceptable that the police numbers have fallen from 8,940 in June 2012 to 8,721 in February 2013, and I wondered what's going on here. Has the government been cutting back on spending to balance their books and put a halt on recruiting new cops? And I know that this is about corrections, but the people that the police actually deal with end up in our correction system. In 2008, the government committed $18.5 million into recruiting, training, employment, extra police staff, and since the police numbers are falling, where is this money being diverted to or hidden, Mr. Chair? So I actually have some grave concerns about the way that our corrections have actually been managed, and I believe that they need more resources and better funding, and we need to also know which areas of the corrections that the funding is going to be spent on. If the Minister wants to ensure that serious domestic violence offenders are monitored 24/7, then we cannot afford to have lower police numbers and diminish the visibility in our community, nor ignore the need for our correction staff to get better training and sufficient resources. If this is going to work, we need to strengthen frontline staff and police number instead of weakening their visibility and effectiveness. Crime rates may have fallen, but that does not mean all crimes have been reported or recorded. And criminal activity is not a seasonal thing. It is constant and can occur at any time. In fact, the number of sexual assaults have risen. Moreover, no one can truly give an exact estimate for the number of domestic violence disputes that occur nationwide. Unreported domestic is estimated to be very high, which indicates a need to monitor serious domestic violence offenders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in order to save more lives, especially for battered women and for some men who are not reporting these assaults. We need to be firm but fair. Firm but fair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The question is that vote corrections stand part of the schedules. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, the question now is that vote police stand part of the schedules. Te Aroha Flavel.
Thank you. Tēnā koe, Mr. Chair.